And joining me on the phone line, ladies and gentlemen, at a time when we are talking about this very painful tragedy in Amritsar, where a train has mowed down all those onlookers who were there celebrating Dussehra. Why? Because there were lapses on the ground. Joining me tonight is former Union Minister Ashwini Kumar, joining me on the phone line. Mr. Ashwini Kumar, the first reports, I can count the millions of lapses that could have occurred. But the first point that I want to ask you, could such a big demonstration, such a Ravan Dahan be held so close to the railway tracks? Could this have been an avoidable tragedy?
Well, I'm really not in a position to say anything about geographical location, but I must express my deepest condolences at the ghastly tragedy. I'm in fact shocked, and while I speak to you, I'm myself on a train, and all I can say is that issues of railway security, of issues relating to the security of travel and railways has been engaging the attention of various governments from time to time. In fact, I had also filed a public interest petition several years ago related to railway security. But despite all efforts, nothing seems to be effectively done. And we see the spectacle of losing innocent lives in completely avoidable train tragedies.
Well, while I agree with you, Mr. Ashwini Kumar, the question is also that some of the onus would lie with the local authorities because there would have been some presence of local police to try and prevent people from going onto the railway tracks during the Dussehra celebrations, especially at a time when trains were expected to pass through those railway tracks?
It will be completely unfair on my part to decisively and authoritatively say who is responsible for it or who is partly responsible for it, since I have absolutely no information. But I tend to agree with you to the extent that on occasions of religious festivities, normally people do become flag. I do not know whether in this case that has happened. It will be unfair for me to say so because I do not know the facts. But this is not the time to find fault. This is a time to send our condolences to the bereaved families and to do our utmost to them solace and consolation.
Mr. Ashwini Kumar, we've just played out some of those accounts coming in from eyewitnesses at the spot, and the eyewitnesses said that at this particular location where this tragedy took place, your Congress Minister Navjot Singh Sidhu's wife, Navjot Kaur Sidhu, was present and she witnessed this tragedy taking place. And the minute it took place, she actually jumped into her SUV and left the location. Do you think that's what a responsible politician should or would have done? We seem to have lost that line with Mr. Ashwini Kumar, former law minister, joining me on the phone line. But ladies and gentlemen, first let's look at those visuals. Look at those final moments when 50 hapless people were caught unawares when they were on the tracks. The sounds of the Ravan effigy being burnt coincided with the train coming on the railway tracks, and everything happening in that coincidental moment, making this such a huge bone-chilling tragedy. Listen in to this, listen in and see how this disturbing visual will tell you what really happened at that moment. Railways Minister Piyush Goyal, who's currently in the United States of America, has put out his statement. Let's take a look at what he stated. He said, "Shocked and deeply saddened by the tragic train accident that occurred in Amritsar, my heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims. I pray for the injured to recover quickly. Railways is conducting immediate relief and rescue operations." That statement coming in from Mr. Piyush Goyal at the moment. Also, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given his statement, as has BJP President Amritsar, all of them expressing their shock and grief at this devastating tragedy that's taken place on a day that should have been a day of celebrations, but which by evening turned into a day of tragedy. Let's listen in to what Chief Minister of Punjab, Captain Amrinder Singh, had to say just a short while ago.
Today's incident in Amritsar has been absolutely tragic. I was to leave this evening for Tel Aviv on a program, on a tour there to meet with the authorities there on various Punjab issues. I've had to postpone that. I'm tomorrow morning going to Amritsar to meet with those families who have been who suffered tragedies, both in deaths and in injuries. As far as the state is concerned, they are in full alert. Everybody has been shifted into Amritsar of our administration who are required, and all the injured are being taken to hospitals wherever they may be, and private or government, and the government is going to bear the full cost of this. In the meantime, we should also order an inquiry as to why this incident has taken place, why I am at the moment not aware of the reasons for this, the Ravan being built next to the railway station, but the administration should have had a look at it, and we will check when I go there tomorrow and see what has happened. But it's been a tragic incident for Punjab. How many have died so far? We are hearing conflicting reports. Some are saying 50, some are saying 60, but we'll only know tomorrow. But injured are many, and they are being taken to our hospitals. So our prayers and thoughts are today with those families who have lost their kin, or those who have been injured and are in hospitals. And
Captain Amrinder Singh, Chief Minister of Punjab, who was in Delhi, has just taken off back for Chandigarh. He is likely to arrive in Amritsar tomorrow morning. At the moment, he is en route from Delhi to Chandigarh. He was in Delhi to take a flight to Tel Aviv, a trip that he's postponed, now going back to Chandigarh to go in to Amritsar tomorrow morning. But this devastating tragedy, ladies and gentlemen, just let's look at the various lapses and where these could have occurred. Question number one that we want to ask tonight is, so close to the railway tracks, who gave permission for these Dussehra celebrations, for the Ravan Dahan to take place so close to the railway tracks? Because when there is a Ravan Dahan, there will be crowds of people. There will be people who will try and run away from the firecrackers, and if they run away from those firecrackers, they are going to be very close to the railway tracks. So question number one, where did the permission come from? Question number two tonight, with so many crowds of people available there at the spot, where were the local police? Why was there no local police?
कि तभी पता चला कि पीछे से हड़दम मची और ट्रेन फुल स्पीड पे आई और कोई कह रहा था फाटक है, कोई कह रहा था कितने बंदे हैं, कितने वो हैं। तो फिर कमिश्नर साहब को फ़ोन किया, मैं वापस आऊँ, कहते नहीं पथराव आ गया। तो मुझे लगा कि जो बच्चे बचा सकते हैं उनको अस्पताल में रह के एटलीस्ट उनको पूरी फर्स्ट एड दे सकें, उनको ये ना लगे कि उनको छोड़ के जिसको ज़रूरत है आगे वाली ट्रीटमेंट की उसको दी जाएगी, जिसको यहाँ रखा जाएगा ताकि धक्के ना खाएं। इनको ये ना लगे रिश्तेदारों को इतने ट्रॉमा से गुजर रहे हैं कि इनके आसपास कोई है ही नहीं। तो हम सारी रात हम यहीं पे हैं मरीजों के साथ, जब तक एक एक उसको आइडेंटिफाई नहीं करवा लेते। कईयों को बॉडी चाहिए, कईयों को कुछ चाहिए। बड़ी हैरानी की बात है, बिकॉज इतना पुलिस प्रशासन था और इतना ऑर्गेनाइज सा था कि समझ ही नहीं आया। अब बता रहे हैं कि रेलवेज वाले ने ना तो ट्रेन आहिस्ता की और पता नहीं ये लोग ट्रैक पे खड़ के सेल्फियां ले रहे थे। समझ ही नहीं आई बात क्या हुआ, क्योंकि बड़े आराम से प्रोग्राम खत्म हुआ, गाड़ी में बैठे मैं निकली, 15 मिनट बाद मुझे फ़ोन आता है कि वहाँ पे मैडम ऐसा हो गया।
दूसरी पार्टी जो एलिगेशन लगा रही राजनीति कर रही है,
देखो अगर इन पे राजनीति करने की ज़रूरत है, हर साल वहाँ पे दुशहरा होता है और इस पे हमने बिठाया उनको किसी को ट्रैक पे या हमने ट्रेन उनके ऊपर चढ़ाई। हमारे इलाके के लोग हैं, हम मर रहे हैं उनके लिए, तड़फ रहे हैं, मेरा गला बैठ गया है ढूंढ ढूंढ के कि हम इनको बचाएं, कुछ इनका कर पाएं जैसे शुरू से करते हैं। ये उनको शोभा देता है। जब उनकी स्टेज लगती थी वहाँ पे हर साल वहीं दुशहरा होता था ना, तो वहीं पे अकाली दल वहीं पे सारे वहीं पे दुशहरा मनाते थे। तो भगवान ना करे ऐसा इंसिडेंट कभी किसी के साथ ना हो। तो इस पे राजनीति सेकने वालों को शर्म आनी चाहिए।
तो रेलवे मुलाजिम पे कोई कार्रवाई की मांग करते हैं?
रेलवेज को एकदम फोन किया तो उन्होंने कईयों ने तो कहा कि फाटक खुला था और हर साल यहाँ पे एक वार्निंग होती है क्योंकि हमारा सारा इलाका रेलवेज के आसपास ही होता है। हमने 6 जगह आज रावण जलाए, तो सारे रेलवे का भी रेलवे ट्रैक के पास है, पर उनको बहुत ज़रूरी था कि आगे देना कि यहाँ पे कितना इंसिडेंट हो रहा है, वहाँ पे ट्रेन तो स्लो करें। मतलब ये तो कभी नहीं सुना कि फुल स्पीड पे ट्रेन निकल जाए, कोई बच्चा गलती से भाग सकता है। तो बहुत बड़ी रेलवेज की ये लोग, आधे से लोग तो मेरी स्पीच सुन के हटे थे, इनको पता ही नहीं चला शॉक में क्या हुआ। जी मैंने अभी न्यूज में सुना है, आई थिंक कैप्टन साहब ने 5-5 लाख की अनाउंसमेंट की है उसके लिए। तो मैं डिटेल्स तो तभी जब सरकार की पूरी चिट्ठी आ जाए तभी बता सकती हूँ।
Well, Navjot Kaur Sidhu says she had left the location 15 minutes before the train came in and mowed down people, contrary to what the eyewitness accounts really say. And even in the visuals that we have seen, we could hear those crackers going up even as the train was passing. Ranjan Kumar, a eyewitness who was there at the location, joining me on the phone line. Mr. Ranjan Kumar, what did you see there? Did you see Miss Navjot Kaur Sidhu present at the location? Had she left much before this accident happened, as she said, 15 minutes before the accident happened?
Ma'am, my name is Anjan Deveshwar, and actually when I reached this place, that time she was not there, and people were in anger, and everyone was telling that why she left, and they were like tearing the poster and all, and they were shouting down with Navjot Singh Sidhu and his wife and all. So they are very angry. If she would have been here, they won't have been like so angry.
Anjan Deveshwar ji, I want to ask you, were you present at the time when this accident took place, or you arrived at the spot later?
Ma'am, I arrived minutes after this accident. I just came to visit Amritsar, my cousin, and we stayed just 5 minutes from this place. So she was not here.
Were there any police authorities at this crowded place to control the crowds at a time when this celebration of the Ravan Dahan was taking place?
No, ma'am. It happens every year, and every year people watch like this only from the track. And moreover, this was like a high-profile program where minister's wife was present. Still, there is a lapse from the administration. They failed to control this. And there is also lapse from the driver side who didn't notice, and he just run over these people, innocent people.
Okay. So you think there was lack of communication between the local authorities and the railway authorities?
As of now, ma'am, police is here. Police is appealing to the people to calm down.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Anjan Deveshwar, for joining me on the News Hour tonight. We'll try and get more details from the eyewitnesses there. Those are the visuals that we are getting from the injured who are being treated in the local hospitals in Amritsar. Of course, many of those injured and their families extremely angry in the manner in which this completely avoidable tragedy has taken place. The police authorities now present in great numbers at the hospital, but clearly where were they when this accident did take place? And joining me tonight, Bijon Mishra, consumer rights activist, Vikram Singh, former IPS officer, and Arunendra Kumar, former railway board chairman. But first, Mr. Vikram Singh, the question I want to ask you is, could such a tragedy take place if the local police had been on its toes controlling the crowds, as it should have been if there is this kind of a gathering for the Ravan Dahan that was happening so close to the tracks?
Navika, a straight question requires a straight answer. And yes, as you have said, it was an avoidable tragedy. If the police were careful in the bandobast, they would have ensured that proper barricades would have been put up right across the railway tracks, as you do in case of water bodies, wells, deep pits, to just sanitize the area and ensure in case of a stampede, the people don't rush into points of hazards. And in this case, the point of hazard was the railway track, an unmanned one at that. In that case, it was the duty of the police to have ensured that the area was properly barricaded. Manned police pickets should have been there and ensured that nobody ventured into it. The fact of the matter is that the tragedy was totally avoidable, and the train sliced through the crowd, and you have a tragedy which I'm sure was very much avoidable. Now the police, the railways,
Mr. Vikram Singh, stay with
driver,
me. My colleague and my Chandigarh Bureau Chief Vishal Monga joins me on the phone line. Vishal, what's the latest information that you're getting about the casualties on the ground? The first report that we've heard from the Chief Minister, who put the figure anywhere between 50 and 60, are you getting any updates and any details of eyewitnesses who could be telling you what actually went wrong on the ground?
See, indeed, we were talking to the top sources within the railway. What they've confirmed, that 50 confirmed death, and the number could rise. That is what the railway authorities are telling us. And we've been talking to the eyewitnesses.
Hold your thoughts, Vishal Monga. I have with me on the phone line Punjab Home Minister, who's Mr. Mohindra, who's joining me on the phone line. Mr. Mohindra, this is a grave tragedy, and many are saying tonight, Mr. Brahm Mohindra, that this is an avoidable tragedy. The first question I want to ask you, where was the local police with such crowds so close to the railway tracks? Why was there no local police to prevent people from coming onto the tracks in the first place?
Well, I do not know what happened there actually, but it is an unfortunate tragedy. We are just trying to ascertain. At the moment, we are worried about the casualties, and we are making arrangements for the injured people. So I can't say exactly what happened.
Mr. Mohindra, you are the Home Minister of the state. You would have got a first.
I'm Health Minister. I'm Health Minister of Punjab.
Okay, Mr. Mohindra, you're the Health Minister. You would have got the first report of what actually happened there.
You see, I got the report. The moment Ravan was exploded, the people ran backwards. Then there was a train coming out of. I think the sound of the train they couldn't get because of the explosives in the Ravan. So maybe that was the situation there.
And what about the local police?
I'm telling you, I just there must be local police. They must be there, but maybe something happened so sudden. So see, it happened so suddenly. You see.
All right. Clearly, the state and the local authorities were not prepared for this kind of a tragedy. Thank you, Mr. Mohindra, for joining us. Going across to an eyewitness who was present there, Anjan Deveshwar now joins us live from the location. Anjan, can you tell us what exactly is going on at the location? Have all those who were injured been evacuated, taken to hospitals? What is happening at that location where the accident took place?
Ma'am, actually, this celebration was going on as today is Dussehra, so people were burning the effigy of Ravan. Since that ground is very small, so people they watch this event from the railway track, which is just adjacent to the ground. It is hardly 17 steps I have counted. So the train came, and because of the noise of the crackers, these people, they couldn't hear the train approach. I can show you the location.
Yes,
See,
Mr. Ranjan Deveshwar, please show us the location. What's going on there?
Presently, ma'am, police is here, and most of the dead bodies, people, they have picked up the dead bodies themselves of their relatives, and police is trying to calm down the people, and people are shouting slogans against Navjot Singh Sidhu and his wife. They are very angry because he left that spot, and no one is here from the political segment. So they are shouting slogans against Navjot Singh Sidhu and his wife.
Mr. Ranjan Deveshwar, can you turn the camera 360 degrees and show us what is happening at the location?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the first visuals that you are getting from the accident spot.
And these are the track side.
Okay. Are the railway authorities also present along with the police officials there?
Ma'am, actually, Commissioner S.S. Srivastava, he was telling that they will call railway authorities, but as of now, we don't see any railway authorities here.
Okay. And what are the police personnel telling you on the ground?
Ma'am, they are telling same thing that people were watching Dussehra celebration, and since because of the noise of the crackers, these people, they could not hear the noise of the train, and the driver also didn't notice. That is very sad that human life of common citizen, it is very cheap in India.
Mr. Ranjan Deveshwar, can I once again request you to hold up your camera and give us a 360-degree view of the accident site so that we can get an idea of what kind of rescue operations are going on?
Ma'am, presently no rescue operation is going on. Relatives have picked on the dead bodies themselves because the local people were here, so they have picked up the dead bodies. Only 1 or 2 dead bodies are remaining.
There are still some dead bodies at the spot?
You can see people, they are angry, they are sitting here.
And there are no local member of parliament or MLAs present at the spot?
Ma'am, local MP, he came, so the mob became violent, so he ran away. They were about to press him.
What are the people angry about? About the tardiness of the rescue operations?
Ma'am, there is no rescue, nothing as rescue because these people are dead. So there is no question of rescue now.
Have all the injured been taken to hospitals?
Yes, ma'am. Now here no one is there. No rescue operation is being carried out. Now all the people, whether they are dead or injured, nothing is here.
So who are the people who are still at the spot?
Relatives, ma'am, relatives and common people, those who are angry.
And what is the police telling them?
Just now, Mr. S.S. Srivastava, he spoke to everyone and he said, maintain the calm and the culprits, the guilty will be punished. They will be action will be taken against them.
What are the eyewitnesses? What are the eyewitnesses telling you, Mr. Anjan Deveshwar? What are they telling you about the bandobast on the ground when this accident actually took place? Were there enough police personnel present on the ground at that time?
Ma'am, it is not question of the ground. On ground, definitely they were present because VIP was available, wife of Navjot Singh Sidhu was available. But on track, no one was there. You can see this is the ground. You can see this wall. It is hardly 7 feet wall, high wall. And just 17 steps, I have counted the 17 steps. Here we have railway track.
And people just
So-
jumped from that wall and came onto the railway track?
No, ma'am. People didn't jump. They were watching from the track itself. They were watching from the track itself.
And the local
it-
authorities did not have any coordination with the railway authorities?
Ma'am, actually, this would not have been allowed. It was a high profile event where a minister's wife is present. How they can she is also a minister. How they can allow people to watch this event from the railway tracks?
Mr.
So this is-
Anjan Deveshwar, there were reports that were coming out that there is an unbarricaded gate as well present over there. Is there any gate nearby which is unmanned, unbarricaded?
No, ma'am. That gate, actually, there are gates, two gates, parallel gates. So in between, there is a space. It is known as Judwa Phatak, double Phatak.
तो फाटक खुला था क्या?
But it has nothing to do with the gate, ma'am, because from the stage itself, people can jump here and come.
Okay,
It is
so the
hardly
gates are
seven-
not at fault. You are saying from the location. Can you say that?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, we have two gates here. There is a pair of gates, two pair of gates.
Can you
So
show
in
us the
between-
gates? Can you show us the gates, Mr. Anjan Deveshwar?
Ma'am, it is nearly 50 meters from here.
All right, all right. Thank you, Mr.
Maybe if you
Anjan
would like-
Deveshwar. We will keep coming back to you. Thank you very much for showing us exactly what's happening on the ground at the moment. And Bijon Mishra, this is the Aam Aadmi who was crushed under the wheels of a train tonight. Bijon Mishra, जान की कोई कीमत नहीं है इस देश में, which is why now we are looking at the lapses, and even ministers in the Punjab government say they don't know what happened, and eyewitnesses say that a minister's wife was present at that location and she went away when the accident happened. What do you make of this, Mr. Bijon Mishra?
Navika, I can only pity we as citizens because you can understand a gross negligence has happened. You have raised very relevant 10 questions, through your channel to the administration, and all those 10 questions needs to be answered, in an honest manner. And the only way you can demonstrate your commitment towards the citizen is all these people due to which this gross negligence has happened, people who gave permission for such an event to take place, VIPs who attended this event, the police people who are responsible, who are being paid high fat salaries to look after the welfare of the citizens, they all should be taken to task in such a manner that they don't get even a bail. They should be put behind bars immediately. No inquiry. Pre-inquiry, they should be taken to task. We will not wait for inquiries for such things. You can imagine, Navika, what must have happened to the families of these bereaved families. What must be going on a festive day like Dussehra. What kind of a kind of a sad situation is going through the families of the aggrieved people. Only expressing condolence is not the answer. You have to demonstrate that you all are committed. You have huge number of security for individual VIPs, but you don't bother about the security of citizens. Nobody is bothered. Not a single police people were near the track to ensure that the crowd doesn't walk onto the tracks. And then you can imagine, what the state government is trying to do. They are trying to just show lip service. By now they should have taken action. They should have suspended the Home Secretary, the IG of the police. All these people should have been taken to task immediately by the Chief Minister. Instead of taking onus, instead of Chief Minister taking onus, he is telling us that he is going to visit tomorrow morning, as if he is going to oblige us. As if he is going to oblige us by visiting tomorrow morning. What does he do tonight? He should not go to sleep till he doesn't understand what action needs to be taken. He needs to be awake and ensure that all the family members, who have gone through the tragedy or who are suffering today because of this accident, all the family members should be consoled, they should be approached, they should be taken, in terms of, ensuring that we give all help to them without any delay. This is the most important. Navika, it is so unfortunate.
Hold your thoughts, Mr. Bejon Mishra. Gurjeet Singh Aujla on the phone line. He is the Amritsar Member of Parliament. Mr. Aujla, you went to the location. What did you see? Were there no local policemen to prevent this accident from happening?
नहीं मैडम, लोकेशन तो इसकी जो ट्रेन के साथ ही था, जो दशहरे का ग्राउंड था, और जो प्रशासन ने परमिशन दी है, किसी ने ली है या नहीं ली, ये तो सुबह पता चलेगा, क्योंकि अभी हादसे की वजह से सारा प्रशासन इसके रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन पे लगा हुआ है। तो जो नहीं भी ली तो उसके लिए जो भी जिम्मेदार होगा उसके ऊपर कार्रवाई होगी, ये तो कोई बात कहने की नहीं है। पर
औजला साहब, आप ये मानते हैं कि ये लोकल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की तरफ से लैप्सेस कई हैं, एक नहीं दो नहीं कई हैं?
किसी ने फ्लाई की है या कोई हो रहा है, वो तो कुदरती बात है कि वो लैप्स है, बिल्कुल है।
लेकिन रेलवे ट्रैक पर लोग वहां से आ गए हैं, अगर औजला साहब, तो कोई पुलिस वाला वहां था नहीं लोगों को रोकने के लिए?
बिल्कुल मैडम, यही बात है, पुलिस वाला भी ना था नहीं। दूसरी बात है कि सारे रेलवे ट्रैक के ऊपर रास्ते खुले हुए हैं, कोई बंद ही नहीं है। अब ये भी चेक कर सकते हैं, कहीं से भी कोई आ सकता है। टोटल मतलब करीब 8-10 किलोमीटर लंबा ट्रैक होगा, सबके ऊपर रेलवे मतलब रास्ते खुले हुए हैं।
औजला साहब, कोई तो पुलिस लोकल अथॉरिटीज के बीच में और रेलवे अथॉरिटीज के बीच में कम्युनिकेशन होगी।
जिसने नहीं देखा, जिसने नहीं कंट्रोल किया, ही इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल।
तो एक्शन कब होगा औजला साहब? जिनके लोग जाने थे, जिनके फैमिली के लोग जाने थे, वो तो चले गए।
नहीं मैडम, अभी हम रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन पे लगे हुए हैं, अभी हॉस्पिटल में, और उसको फर्स्ट एड दे रहे हैं, सब कुछ कर रहे हैं, वही है। इसके बाद अभी कर रहे हैं, सारा प्रशासन इस पे लगा हुआ है, उसके ऊपर कार्रवाई होगी।
कितने कैजुअलिटीज है, क्या फिगर है औजला साहब
जी?
कितने कैजुअलिटीज की फिगर है इस वक्त?
50 प्लस है, अभी और आ रहे हैं, रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन चल रहा है ना जी। अभी हम हॉस्पिटल में रिसीव कर रहे हैं, जो सारे जितने प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल है, मिलिट्री हॉस्पिटल है, सबको खोल रखा है, सब जगह भेज रहे हैं, जो फर्स्ट एड के बाद। अभी हम इमरजेंसी में हैं।
औजला साहब, आई विटनेसेस का कहना है नवजोत कौर सिद्धू, आपके पंजाब गवर्नमेंट के मिनिस्टर की वाइफ वहां मौजूद थी, और जब ये एक्सीडेंट हुआ तो वो वहां से चली गई। क्या ये रिस्पॉन्सिबल बिहेवियर है वहां की सरकार का?
बिल्कुल नहीं। वो यदि देखो जी, मेरे बहनोई की डेथ हुई थी, मैं तो बाहर था, अभी सुन के वापस पहुंचा हूँ, कल किरे की अंतिम अरदास है, तो मैं तो वहां से पहुंच रहा हूँ, और जो भी था नहीं था वो मेरे को अभी पता चलेगा। अभी तो हम रेस्क्यू के ऊपर लगे हुए हैं सब लोग।
औजला साहब, लोगों की जानें चली गई और आप कह रहे हैं कि सब कुछ कल पता चलेगा। जिनके घर में आज दिए बुझ गए, जिनके घर में आज चूल्हा नहीं जलेगा, उनको क्या जवाब देंगे आप?
मैडम, मेरी बात नहीं आप सुन रहे। मैं तो बोल रहा हूँ कि हम हॉस्पिटल की इमरजेंसी में खड़े हैं, आप किसी को भेज दीजिए, हम तो वहां बचा रहे हैं जिसको बच सकता है, ब्लड का अरेंजमेंट कर रहे हैं, उनके लिए वेंटिलेशन इमरजेंसी में खड़े हुए हैं। हम तो ये तो बात कर रहे हैं कि जो रिस्पॉन्सिबल है उसके ऊपर तो कार्रवाई होगी। अभी मैं कैसे किसी आपको बात कह सकता हूँ? जो भी रिस्पॉन्सिबल, चाहे जो सिद्धू है, कोई भी है।
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Aujla, for joining me on the Newshour tonight. At the moment, no explanations coming in either from the Member of Parliament or from the Health Minister of the Punjab government. Can and should we wait for inquiries to take place? That's the big question we have to ask. Mr. Arunendra Kumar, former chairman of the Railway Board. Mr. Kumar, I want to ask you this question. When such an event is taking place, is there no communication between the local authorities and the railway authorities? Does a train just come and mow down 50 people without any eyebrow being raised? The train driver doesn't notice them, the local police doesn't notice them. Just what kind of a failure and what kind of a lapse is this?
Let us first understand this is a very tragic incident, and whenever such things happen very close to the track and people are expected to
Mr.
move on the
Arunendra
track
Kumar, I
as a
just
part of
request you to hold your thoughts. I have Food Processing Minister Harsimrat Kaur Badal joining me on the phone line. Harsimrat Kaur Badal ji, this is Navika here. Thank you very much for joining me on the phone line. Harsimrat Kaur Badal ji, such a tragedy which I would clearly say was an avoidable tragedy. A tragedy where 50 people have been mowed down by a train, no communication between the local police and the railway authorities. Who's responsible for this tragedy, for the death of 50 people?
It's but obvious that the entire onus comes from the local administration, which gave permission for this kind of a function to be held so close to the track. Number one, I think the entire onus is on them. Number two, it's on the VIPs who were attending this function as chief guests over there, not to realize, knowing very well, like the constituency, like the back of their hand, that there's a railway track and there are hundreds of people watching it and a rail passing every couple of minutes from there. So with the firecrackers going off, there were no barricades, nothing had been put up. It's absolutely sheer failure of the local administration and the government.
You're saying this is the failure of the local administration, but Harsimrat Kaur Badal, eyewitnesses have also pointed out, and the local member of parliament, Mr. Aujla, has said that there were gates along the 7-8 kilometer stretch of the railway track, and all of these gates were open, they had not been shut. Isn't that also a lapse that the railways will have to answer for?
Well, whether those gates are manned or unmanned, that does not change the fact that there was no business of a Dussehra function to be taking place anywhere close to the railway line, where a gathering and a congregation of hundreds of people should take place, knowing very well that that's an active railway line where trains are passing every couple of minutes. You've got to be crazy in the head to allow a Dussehra function to take place right next to it. Whether the railway line was closed or open, this is something the administration should know. And even if it was right or wrong on part of the railway, what is absolutely unacceptable is to give permission to hold a Ramlila function over there, Dussehra function over there.
Ms. Harsimrat Kaur Badal, would you like to give a message to all those families who have lost their loved ones today for a mistake that nobody can explain at the moment why it happened?
No, my heartfelt condolences. This is, I think, the biggest tragedy that has struck on an auspicious day where evil is supposed to, be triumphed by something good, but it seems like it's evil which triumphs. And my condolences go out to all those bereaved families, little children, young women, young men, and I really hope that the administration gets its act together for the hundreds which have got hurt and are battling for life, that they send out every kind of medical aid and help and support. My brother Bikram Majithia is already on ground zero. We will be reaching there tomorrow.
All right.
To the overseas, but we hope that we will all collectively do whatever we can to ensure that any further lives are saved and the tragedy should not happen in the future.
Thank you very much for joining me, Ms. Harsimrat Kaur Badal. Going across to listen in to Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. We'll listen in to Mr. Arun Jaitley, who had fought his Lok Sabha elections from Amritsar. We'll just queue up that bite and play it out for you. Going back to Mr. Arunendra Kumar, former chairman of the Railway Board. Yes, Mr. Kumar, sorry for interrupting you. You were making your point.
Yeah, it's a very, very serious accident in which people have lost lives. Our heart and felt condolences. There could not be more than that. The basic issue is that if you have any kind of a function close to the track which warrants control of train movement, the norm specifies that the state government informs the local station master that a particular place needs to be having a control over the speed of trains.
All right, step number one, the local authorities had to inform the state authorities. Let's listen in to Mr. Jaitley.
और इसमें बहुत अधिक मात्रा में मासूम लोग जो त्यौहार मना रहे थे उनकी जान चली गई, बहुत अधिक मात्रा में लोग जिनको चोट लगी है। ये एक ऐसी ट्रेजेडी थी जिसको अवॉइड किया जा सकता था, रोका जा सकता था अगर उपयुक्त कदम उठाए जाते। लेकिन ये वक्त वो है कि जब केंद्र सरकार की सभी एजेंसीज, राज्य सरकार की सभी एजेंसीज, रेलवेज विशेष रूप से, जिला प्रशासन और राज्य सरकार मिलकर जिन लोगों को जान का, माल का और नुकसान हुआ है, जिनको चोटें लगी हैं, सबको मेडिकल सहायता, रिलीफ इस वक्त उपलब्ध करवाएं। और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि सभी एजेंसीज करवाएंगी। मैंने अभी जो रेलवे राज्य मंत्री हैं श्री मनोज सिन्हा, उनसे बात की है, वो तुरंत वहां पहुंच जाएंगे उन्होंने कहा। और राज्य सरकार के अधिकारी और कई नेता भी वहां पहुंचे हैं। और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि अगले कुछ घंटों में पूरा प्रयास किया जाएगा दोनों तरफ से कि जिन लोगों का नुकसान हुआ है, चोटें लगी हैं, उनको अधिक से अधिक रिलीफ उपलब्ध करवाया जाए। जिन लोगों की जान गई है, मैं उनके परिवारों को बहुत बहुत शोक प्रकट करता हूं। और इस ट्रेजेडी से पूरा देश बहुत दुखी और परेशान है। बार दे दिन जो मासूम लोग दशहरा मनाने वास्ते अमृतसर इकट्ठे हुए सन, खुद एक बड़ी वड्डी ट्रेजेडी का शिकार बन गए।
That was Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. Mr. Arunendra Kumar. So, lapse number 1 at the first level was no communication between the local authorities and the railway authorities. What would you put as lapse number 2?
Yeah. No, this question is that when you are in a moving train and you see a crowd in front, the railway is responsible for the people whom they are carrying in the train. And the people who come in the front somehow, unless there is a possibility of stopping the train short of the obstruction, then the driver will apply emergency brakes. He will reduce the speed certainly, but it is unsure whether he will be able to save the lives of being run over of so many people on the track. If the driver had been advised that there is a congregation of people on the track because of the Dussehra celebrations and there could be some spillover which could cause this tragedy, the driver would have definitely stopped the train much in advance and got the track cleared and then taken the train forward. This place is about 3 to 4 kilometers from the main station of Amritsar. This place is also near the home signal. So driver as such had control on speed and even must be slowing down. But the fact that the people on the track, the question comes, if he stops, will he be able to stop before the obstruction? Will the passenger lives in the train may not happen that they get into trouble by very serious bumping of the train by emergency brakes application? I am sure the accident inquiry will reveal that driver would have applied the brakes. He stopped the train very near to the station, and if there is no communication to him, I don't find any way that how will he know. And it was a night time that you can't even see unless the headlight only gives you an indication that there are people on the track. How many are there, at what stage they came, because the records, as I have been told, reveal that 1827 the mail, Howrah mail passed first, everything was fine. The second train, the DMU which caused the tragedy, it passed between 1847 and 19 o'clock. So the first train went away all right. The second train caused this kind of thing. So people must have run over the track because of some reason. They were not collected there before. Otherwise this train could not have passed. And the gateman informed the station master that the tragedy has happened. People have been run over because they somehow came on in front of the train when it was about almost on the run. So it's very difficult to stop such things, stop a train when the people are running on the track because of some kind of stampedes happening somewhere else. So it's very difficult to say that who's responsible. But yes, there could have, if there had been information to the state, from the state government to the station master, that there's a likelihood of a possibility of people running on the track, the railway does take
Mr.
action
Vikram
to
Singh,
stop the train.
Mr. Vikram Singh, the first level of lapse did take place at the local level. From the way prima facie we are seeing things as they happen.
Yes, Navika, I would like to add that the first lapse was that a public meeting should never be allowed at such a hazardous place. Number two, had it did happen, then the next job to do was to contact the station master, the railway authorities, and ensure that there was no train movement. And the third, no train. I would like to ask from Mr. Kumar that most of the trains, it wasn't Rajdhani or Shatabdi, and it certainly wasn't on an autopilot mode. There have been cases when engine drivers, through their own ingenuity and initiative, have stopped the train and have averted a tragedy. But yes, I cannot sit in judgment. It was for the driver whether he could or he could not stop. But the fact remains that the initial lapse, as you very rightly said, Navika, was that the local authorities should have approached the railway, the station master, and ensured that there was no movement. And initially they should not even have allowed this kind of a public meeting or a Ravan Dahan at such a hazardous place. And it was the fact that it was allowed, it should not have happened. I would only say that there are important lessons to be drawn from this, but that apart, yes, the local authorities have a lot of explaining to do. Was there a tradition of having such congregations? And if there was a tradition, what arrangements were made earlier? And if there were lessons to be drawn, were they implemented on ground? And if they were not implemented, then that needs to be seen, reinforced, and responsibility be fixed before tomorrow morning.
Well, before tomorrow morning, Mr. Bijon Mishra, you know, all citizens are left with is feeling helpless. Citizens have been cut through virtually like vegetables on railway tracks tonight. And we're still wondering whether it was the local authorities who were caught napping, whether it was the VVIPs who were present at the spot who were caught napping, whether it was the railway authorities. I mean, where does the accountability begin and when does it begin, Mr. Bijon Mishra?
Yeah, Navika, you have put it very rightly. You see, the lives of citizens do not matter to these, so-called leaders of our country. It is most unfortunate that they don't even realize that when they give permission for such events to take place near a railway track, they need to coordinate. Everybody needs to be made responsible and accountable. You are giving permission. First of all, you are not allowed to give permission to such a close proximity of a railway track. And then you go ahead to do that, and year after year this event keeps happening. It becomes a kind of a regular feature, but without a regular security measure being taken, without ensuring that the lives of the citizens are very precious. They don't even understand that every citizen is precious for us, for whom we are all working together. And because of media like you all who are proactive, we are able to raise these issues. Otherwise, they would be sleeping away. They are caught napping, you said. I said they are Kumbhakarnans. They are sleeping away. They don't want to wake up. We need to beat a number of drums to wake them up. Even after shouting, even after raising voice, they still don't wake up. That is the biggest challenge we face today in our country. The authorities, they don't wake up. They are not awake, they are not alert, but they draw fat salaries, they take all amenities, they take all facilities, and then they run away from the spot.
Well, hold your thoughts, Mr. Bijon Mishra. I'm joined by Minister of State for Railways, Mr. Manoj Sinha, who's joining me on the phone line. Mr. Manoj Sinha, टाइम्स नाउ पे हमारे साथ बनने के लिए बहुत धन्यवाद। मनोज सिन्हा जी, मैं नाविका बोल रही हूं और मैं आपसे पहला सवाल ये पूछना चाहूंगी कि आज 50 आम आदमियों की मौत हो गई रेलवे ट्रैक्स के लिए, कौन इसका जिम्मेदार है?
ये अत्यंत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना है और मुझे लगता है कि इस पर कोई राजनीति करने की जरूरत नहीं है। अभी जो समाचार मिले हैं, रेलवे प्रशासन ने जो मुझे बताया है कि रेलवे ट्रैक के पास ही दशहरे का आयोजन था और जब रावण को जलाया गया तो उसमें पटाखों की आवाज निकल रही थी, जिसके कारण वहां पर जो भीड़ थी भगदड़ मची और वो रेलवे ट्रैक पर आ गई। मुझे लगता है कि पटाखों की आवाज के बीच ट्रेन आने की आवाज लोग सुन नहीं सके। इसमें दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना हुई है जिसमें अनेक लोग अपनी जान गंवाए हैं, अनेक लोग गंभीर रूप से घायल हैं। हमने पहला काम किया है कि अपनी रिलीफ टीम को पूरी तरह भेज दिया है, पूरी मेडिकल टीम हमारी मौके पर पहुंच रही है। मैं स्वयं घटनास्थल पर जा रहा हूं और मैं मानता हूं कि जो घायल हैं उनका सबसे अच्छा इलाज क्या हो सकता है इसका इंतजाम किया जाए और जाए इसके कि इसमें ये देखा जाए कि क्या हुआ, कैसे हुआ।
पर मनोज सिन्हा जी, एक सवाल तो ये खड़ा होता है कि क्या वहां लोकल पुलिस नहीं थी और कोई लोकल पुलिस, लोकल अथॉरिटीज और रेलवे के बीच में कोई कम्युनिकेशन में कोई गैप था?
देखिए, मोटे तौर पर देश भर में जो ट्रैक है वो खुली हुई है और कोई आयोजन हो रहा है, जब तक रेलवे को कोई सूचना नहीं दी जाती है कि कोई इस तरह का बड़ा आयोजन है, तो मुझे नहीं लगता है कि रेलवे के ध्यान में ये बात रही है। मैंने चेक भी किया है, तो इस तरह की कोई जानकारी रेलवे को नहीं दी गई।
इस तरह की कोई जानकारी रेलवे को नहीं दी गई। और ये जो ग्राउंड था जहां रावण दहन हो रहा था, क्या ऐसा कोई ग्राउंड रेलवे ट्रैक के इतने नजदीक हो सकता है? क्या यहाँ ऐसा रावण दहन की परमिशन थी?
अब ये तो स्थानीय प्रशासन बता पाएगा कि परमिशन थी या नहीं थी। ये मैं समझता हूँ कि रेलवे का काम नहीं है।
लेकिन आपने तो तहकीकात की होगी, पता लगाया होगा, आपके पास प्रिलिमिनरी रिपोर्ट आई होगी।
मैंने प्रिलिमिनरी रिपोर्ट आपसे साझा किया है, जो रेलवे के अधिकारियों ने बताया है, और मैं घटनास्थल के लिए निकल रहा हूँ।
मनोज सिन्हा जी, एक सवाल आपसे ये पूछना चाहूंगी कि कुछ आई विटनेसेस का वहां कहना यह है कि लोकल वहां के जो मंत्री हैं नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू, उनकी पत्नी भी मौजूद थी इसी ग्राउंड पर। तो इस ग्राउंड पर अगर एक मंत्री जी की पत्नी मौजूद थी, तो क्या पुलिस, लोकल पुलिस वहां तैनात नहीं थी? क्या वो क्राउड्स को कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकी कि वो रेलवे ट्रैक पे ना जाए?
यहाँ से मैं इन बातों पर प्रतिक्रिया दूं, ये उचित नहीं होगा। जो प्रत्यक्षदर्शी हैं वो इस पर अच्छी राय दे सकते हैं।
क्या रेलवे
बहुत आहत है इस दुर्घटना से, और केंद्र सरकार की जितनी एजेंसियां हैं, पूरी एजेंसियां सक्रिय होकर के लोगों की मदद में लगी हैं। प्रधानमंत्री जी स्वयं निर्देश दिए हैं कि सारी एजेंसियां भारत सरकार को हम लोगों की मदद में लगे।
क्या रेलवेज ने इस एक्सीडेंट पर कोई इंक्वायरी बिठाने का निर्णय किया है?
अभी तक तो इस तरह का निर्णय हमने नहीं लिया है कि कोई इंक्वायरी की जाए, क्योंकि ट्रैक से ट्रेन गुजर रही थी और जरूरत होगी तो हम इस पर विचार करेंगे।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका मनोज सिन्हा जी, हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए और हमें ये जानकारी देने के लिए। हम आपसे दोबारा संपर्क करेंगे जब आप घटनास्थल पर पहुंच जाएंगे और आपके पास और जानकारी प्राप्त हो जाएगी। थैंक यू वेरी मच। Ladies and gentlemen, let's go back and take a look at these disturbing visuals, because these visuals tell you the story of how this day of celebration on Dussehra, when the Ravan effigy was being burnt and crackers sounds were coming, there was no local administration purportedly present at that spot to prevent people from going away from the burning effigy and spilling over onto the railway tracks just when a train came onto the railway tracks, mowing down 50 people. These can be disturbing visuals, ladies and gentlemen. Use discretion to watch these visuals.